ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. I welcome you all with my love and respects. The subject which we are supposed to discuss today is who am I? The ultimate person. There are many types of questions which we ask in our life. Some questions out of innocence, without knowing but wanted to know. Some questions out of knowledge. We know, we just want to verify whether the other person knows or not. Third type of questions out of ignorance. You don't even know what you want because you feel deeply dissatisfied. You just ask. First level questions out of innocence. The questions which child asks, which kids ask you, out of innocence. They do not know anything. They just want to know. That's the first level question. Just simple, pure innocence. Second level, out of knowledge. You know, but you just want to know whether the other person knows or not. Just to express your knowledge, you ask the second type of question. Questions out of knowledge, just to show the proud. The third type of questions out of ignorance. We do not even know what for we are asking. Whether we want to know the answer at all, even that much, we do not know. Just expressing that we are in confusion, but not knowing what to ask. Just to ask something, we have to ask something, so we start asking. I have seen many people coming to me and asking, Swamiji, please tell us something about enlightenment, something about God, something about spirituality. Instead of answering them, I used to talk some other subject. I used to talk something else. Just asking that, how are you, how is your kids, and how is your family, and all those things. Slowly they will answer me, they will talk with me. After that, they will be with me for more than 1 hour, but they will forget the question which they asked me. They will never even talk again about the God or about the enlightenment. It means the questions which are not deep, the questions which are not really their own, just the casual questions. Casual questions naturally disappear. There are a lot of questions in us. We do not even know whether we want to know the answer or not. Just for the sake of asking, we ask. There are so many types of questions. This is the question which is ultimate. Who am I? Who am I? Is the question which is ultimate. Why we say the question, who am I, is the ultimate? Because the moment you ask these questions, the moment you ask this question, who am I, all other questions disappear. And not only that, the very questioning mind dissolves. The very mind which questions us, which continuously creates questions, dissolves. Mind survives by question. Mind always survives by question. As long as the mind is alive, as long as the mind survives, you will see, you will be having only more and more and more questions. I have always seen the questions getting provoked, questions getting multiplied, questions becoming more by answers. Answers never quench the thirst of questions. Answers never stop the person asking questions. Answers never clear doubts. It always creates more questions. There is a beautiful sloka in the Gita. Arjuna asks, Kim tat Brahma kimatyatmam? The way in which, what is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? The way in which the Jivan Muktas react, Jivan Muktas live, and Jivan Muktas respond to the world. What is all the science? What actually happens? He is just placing so many questions to the Krishna. Krishna says, if I ask you to repeat once more the questions, you will not even know to repeat the same question. It is just out of ignorance, without even knowing what you are asking, you are asking. When you ask, when we put the questions, we just express the deep confusion which is in our being, nothing else. When you ask this question, who am I? The ultimate question to yourself, it not only solves the questions, it dissolves the very questioning mind. The mind which continuously creates questions, the very mind is dissolved. We always ask, who is this, who is this, who is this? But we forget to know, who am I? As long as you know that all your questions are not going to solve, are not going to help, you will see the question, the mind, the source from where the questions raise. Unless the source from where the questions raise, if that is realized, all your questions are going to create only more and more questions. If the source is poisoned, the water fountain also will be filled with poison. If the water source is filled with poison, naturally you will see the water fountain is also filled with poison. If the water source is pure, the fountain also will be pure. The source of our thoughts, source of our mind is nothing but the question. The source of our mind is question. Unless you solve that, unless you question that, we are never going to come out of questions. I'll take few words and express it from a smallest book I read, but greatest book. It's a very smallest book, but greatest book I've ever read. It's a book from one of the popular saint, enlightened master who lived in India called Ramana Maharishi. He's called Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi. He's one of the very popular enlightened master who lived in South India. He has written a book, a small booklet. It's not even a book, just a small booklet, few pages of booklet, which says, Who am I? The title of that booklet is Who am I? The very question is so beautiful. It just gives full stop to all other questions. When you ask the ultimate question, who am I? Really, intensely, all your questions becomes quest. All your urge becomes urgent. You start traveling towards the experience, not towards the answer. There are two types of questions. One type of question leads you to the answer. Answer means what? A philosophy or more and more confusion. Any question which leads you to the answers will give you a philosophy, will give you more and more words, more and more confusion. But the question which leads you towards the experience, only that can lead you to dissolve the questions. Only that can lead you to experience the ultimate bliss or ultimate truth of the life. Generally, we all know who we are socially. If I ask someone of you, who are you? You may tell your name. Again, if I ask, you may tell, I am the son of so and so. I am the grandson of so and so. I am the husband of so and so. I am the brother of so and so. I am the father of so and so. I am the grandfather of so and so. I am the neighbor of this person. I am friend of so and so. You are friend for your friend. You are husband for your wife. You are son for your father. You are father for your son. But who are you for you? When you just turn towards in, try this small experiment when you find time. When you go back to your house, close the door of your room, sit alone and start contemplating. Really, who am I for myself? You will see so many social answers coming inside you. If you are well read in the spiritual philosophy, you will start telling, I am Atman, I am God, I am a spiritual being. What it means? I have seen many people coming and telling me, I am Atman. Alright, you are Atman. What it means? What's the meaning of the word Atman? No answer. Either you think your body by your own instinct, or you think you are Atman by your intellect, not based on your experience. Either based on instinct or based on intellect. When it is based on instinct, you say I am a body, I am this body. When it is based on your intellect, you say I am Atman. Again, the idea I am Atman is only intellectual, not experiential stuff. Whenever you question, you ask, who am I for myself? Either you will have a deep feeling that you are losing your base, because your whole life is built on the pseudo identities and the pseudo personalities. Continuously you associate yourself with something. Continuously you associate yourself with somebody, some situation, some person, some relationship. The moment you relax from the relationship of father, you identify with the mother, you identify with the son, you identify with the husband. You continuously play between these personalities. You cannot be alive without the social identity. You cannot exist without social personality or pseudo identity. So you continue to play between the identities. Most of the time, even your spiritual practices, you take up just to fulfill your identity, just to boost your identity. Most of our religion, even The religion is taken to show who we are, to show who I am, to show who is here. So the continuously we play between the identities. This identity, next that identity, next that identity. We continuously play between identities. You can see in your own life, one moment when you turn your face towards the boss, you are obedient, humble servant. You behave in a totally different way. Your body language is polite. Your verbal language is humble. You are very silent. You are obedient. Next second, next chana, when you turn your face towards your servant or your subordinate, your whole tune changes. Your whole language changes. Your whole identity changes. Your whole body language changes. You behave totally in a different way. Totally different mask. This side you play one identity, the other side you play other kind of identity. You are just playing between identities. You just live with the pseudo identities. We continue to play our life between the pseudo identities.